Now, a project I want to show you guys that I've done is, I call it my dove antenna. So I bought two 10-foot long pieces of conduit, electrical conduit. It's metal EMT. And what I did is, on the top end of this 1/2-inch piece, I've drilled some holes. And then in this 3/4-inch piece, I put a couple of holes as well. They're a little over a foot, maybe a foot apart. And then down on this end, in the 1/2-inch, I've got matching holes with some pins here to hold it together, so that when I put it up, it will be about 18, 19 feet up in the air. And what I did is I bought this rod here. I call it pencil rod. Some people call it other things, but anyway, I bought two 4-foot pieces. I would have bought four 4-foot pieces, but they were out, so I got two of the 4-foot and two of the 3-foot, a little bit smaller diameter, not by choice. That's all I had to choose from. And then I don't know what you call this here. I know you can buy them in steel. These are actually cable splicers and holders. So I bought them to the size of the rod, and I drilled them and tapped them for these 1/4-inch bolts here to make them an anchor. Everything here to do this with this project, which was these cable splicing things, they're aluminum, by the way. The steel rod, the 4 pieces of steel rod, and the 2 pieces of conduit was 35 bucks. So I'm about to put it together, and I'm going to use this wire. I forgot to bring a strap, but I've got a longleaf pine tree here at the end of the windrow, and it's right in the middle of this field. I'm going to stick it up on the edge of that, and it'll be poking up way higher than that. But if I wasn't putting it on this pine tree, what I'd do is either drive a piece of rebar in the ground and set this conduit on top of the rebar that's poking up out of the ground, or either I'd drive a pole in the ground a couple of feet with a couple of feet hanging out and put the conduit in the pole. But either way, once I get this put together, I will show it to you with it standing up. Here it is with the pieces installed. And the reason I didn't weld this is not permanent. I'm just going to put it up for a few weeks and take it down, but also being able to take these off, I can store them, and then also taking the pole apart, this is how I have it hooked together. I can store that, and it's not too cumbersome. Now I've got a decoy on the end, just to give you an idea. I'm going to put a few decoys on it opening day. I left the flags on the end just so you can see the ends, but I call this my dove antenna because it kind of looks like an old antenna. Anyway, I'm going to set this up against that tree and tie it up and leave it out here. We got 3 weeks, I think, before opening day, and maybe this will get the birds used to it and using it. Alright, there's my bird antenna. Poking out of the top of that tree with one little decoy sitting up there. You can see the 8-foot from the longer ones, and then a couple of 6-foot, or it's a 6-foot with a couple of 3-footers. And it goes down through this pine tree and I actually have it sitting on a limb. I'll show that to you. So I had to get through some blackberry briars, but luckily they're green and fresh, so they're not too pokey, not like those dead ones. And this is the tree, and there's where I have the end of the pole sitting on top of it right now. If it was out in the middle of the field, I'd just have it on the ground, but being next to this tree, and this tree is pretty tall, I just set it up on that limb. I could set it even higher, but I don't feel the need to. And here's where I've got my wiring it to the tree, and then I wired it right there. And again, all of this is temporary. I'm just sticking it up there now so the birds can get used to it. And I'll show you another place that they like to land too, which is just past my truck. The top of that tree, there's some dead limbs. The top of it was dead, so a couple of dead limbs. And then, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I've got a wire that runs across the field. Goes to that tree right there. But it's like a V. There's one out there and one right here.